So for today's video, we are continuing our trend of playing proactive decks, decks that want to attack our opponent, hit him in the face. Today it's an aggressive Redoran deck. I'm going to go ahead and just queue right up, dive into some games, but this list was mostly prepared by CVH. It's a list he was playing a lot last month. Him and I were talking back and forth quite a bit about it. I decided to pick it up for this month. The big change between his list and my list is that he's running Circle Initiate. I've opted for Rift Thane. I like the Thane because it's a little more proactive when you play it on 2. He likes the Circle Initiate because in aggressive mirrors, basically getting a free 4/3 can win you games, and I do not disagree with that sentiment. So I don't think that there's necessarily a right or wrong way there, and we're going to start with a Rift Thane. I don't think there's a right or a wrong path. If anything, he might be correct, but I also like this. It's flexible, so if you're a little bit behind, a 2/4 guard is not half bad. We are going to be going first against Crusader right out of the gate. We have to assume this is going to be some form of an aggressive Crusader. Although it might not be. Corey Millhouse has been circulating a support Crusader lately, but usually we run into aggressive lists. Let's hope for no chargers. We'd like to be able to value trade this here before he gets the opportunity to run into us, but with the ring, raiding party is something to be concerned about.
It's time to act.
Wait! Did you hear that?
Wow. Okay. That's gonna be... That's gonna be a pretty big board. Well, we get to do a lot for ourselves here, though. So we get to run this over. And develop a 2/4 here as well. You know, I guess there was an argument either way there. Yeah, let's go ahead. It actually may have been more beneficial to play this as the 2/4. As a 2/4, it means this plus damage on one of these would have been required to take care of it. It also means this would have been protected. With this current setup, they can choose to just double trade. Though, with the playing of the House Carl, I have to assume that their plan is going to be pushing damage face.
I'll take them with me.
You can't defeat me.
Nope, they do just go with the trades. Okay, so they're setting up for next turn, which is entirely fair. They will get one card out of it. Little bit of a shame. The double 5th Legion opener was pretty strong by our opponent.
We'll rebuild Skyrim.
Ooh, they're gonna get a couple of cards. Okay. All right. Number of different ways that we could attack this, but he's already got a bunch of cards. I think giving him more cards isn't as big of a deal. As such, we probably need to develop either Markarth Bannerman or our Pit Lion. So Pit Lion would mean playing Orc Clan Captain, Shadow Lane, then the Pit Lion, so we could value trade into the House Carl. Bannerman essentially means if we want to protect our Bannerman that we would also have to play Dawnbreaker the next turn, but then we would get Dawnbreaker plus Orc Clan Captain plus 2 Firebrands to potentially trade into things. And I like that path, I think, more. So we are just going to go ahead and... Sad thing is we have to give a Maroon there. We are playing from behind here. We do not have, with our current hand, the ability to race our opponent, so we do have to, I think, try to value trade him a bit. I mean, the truth is they just had a significantly better opener than we did. Having double 5th Legions and Marked Man with the ring to push it all out. Just is incredibly problematic for us. All right.
I will push them back.
So they keep the heat going.
You can't defeat
Though
me.
Marked Man helped us out a little bit here. Helps us out a little bit here. We could just opt to ignore this. And instead developed the Marked Man over here to try to protect this. I mean, he's going to get rid of it either way, right? +4/+4, either one of these can trade into it. Let's be honest, it would probably be that. But that would mean, in order for this to trade into it, the Marked Man does save us a bunch of damage. I do think that overall this ends up being our best path here.
Wait! Did you hear that?
I also feel like every damage is going to kind of count or matter here. But I do like saving at least one so that we can sharpshooter if necessary. And or play it over here just for quick pit lion shenanigans.
Chimera, guide us! Wait!
Alright.
Did you hear that?
So, it's going to get some damage in. Wow.
You can't defeat me.
So, our opponent opts for... not trading. Is there a scenario where we could just win this? Like if we had 2, 4, 7, right? We could swing for 8. Well, this would be 9 with the captain, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We are 3 off of lethal right now. So the answer, sadly, is no. We cannot.
We stand united.
But we should be able to full clear his board.
Isgramor!
Or at least come pretty close to it.
I'll take them with me! Fires of all we Time to fight.
Sharpshooter clears that. These two clear there. And then we have the Storm Cloak. So we'll have this. So we would lose to like Dawnbreaker and or charge creatures.
I only need one shot.
Time to fight. Talos! Go! Time to fight. The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Alright. That's our best path to victory, I think. There is a
Nicely done.
strong chance that we are still just dead.
Soldiers, report. Your orders. Your orders.
But if we start thinking ahead for math purposes, we've got 11,
The 8 protect us.
14, so we would need 10 more damage to push.
The 8 protect us.
So we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
You can't defeat me.
22. We are still 2 off of lethal, and we did not top deck anything that helped us. We have no guards in hand and no silences to clear the shadow lane and no way to gain health. I think that we just lose. Which is a bit of a bummer. I think we did the best that we could in this situation.
Isgramor!
Come at me!
I think we did the best that we could.
Time to fight. Fires of Alduin. Time to fight.
If we had top decked like Steel Scimitar,
So much work yet to do.
like another Orc Clan Captain would have went a long way.
Attack.
And that is sadly it. So we will lose this, but I don't think that's necessarily reflective of our deck as much as it is just this is kind of a mirror and they had a better opening draw. There's a chance that maybe we should have pivoted to being aggressive ourselves earlier, but we were kind of on our back foot through most of it. So I don't know. I might watch that one back later and see if there was maybe a different path. I mean, on that last turn, they had the +1 damage, so we clearly needed to clear off as much as we could. Yeah. All right. We'll just see what we can do, and now we're just queuing up against Mono Agility. This is a fine opener for going first.
Wait! Did you hear that?
I mean, I have to assume this is probably some sort of like aggressive goblin build.
The Night
It's
Mother
usually
will
what
guide
you
us.
see when you're playing against Mono Agility. Though Ungulum says
I'll
otherwise.
take them with me! I Arca's beard.
We're gonna go ahead and actually drop the defenses. Not that this is a big priority save, but with them only having Ungulum, it means that we get a couple of turns to potentially protect that. Also, by leaving this here on the next turn, if we want, we can run that over with Crusader's Assault.
For the Black Hand.
Do we want to develop Haunting Spirit more or Crusader's Assault more? That's a fair question. Probably Haunting Spirit because we do need to contest this. So let's go ahead and just get this off the board. Just develop the Spirit. That could find curses or goblins. Either way, we don't want it to go crazy out of control. Last game's gonna bug me a little bit for a while because we were so close to victory. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I have those ones where I have like 2 or 3 turns where I'm just a couple off of lethal, and I know that like I can hit it with the right top deck or something, it kind of eats at you, you know? Alright, so it was in fact fetching goblins.
Confound you! I'll take them with me! Mora tests
Alright.
us.
So in that instance, we're just going to go ahead. If they have a skirmisher next turn, they could get a pretty decent buff off. And we'll probably answer with a bannerman next turn ourselves.
Time to fight.
I don't want to break a rune for just 1 damage. They could be running Gloomlurker. I don't want to give them another chance at drawing a skirmisher if they don't have one. I also like saving this because if we were to draw like sharpshooter, having a 0 cost plot activator is kind of nice. I mean, we're going to get to likely draw some cards ourselves here. Ideally, we'd like to see something like a Divine Fervor with our current board in hand. All right. So Bannerman is a nice play, but Rift Thane plus Crusader's Assault is also really tempting. Wow. He has a neutral card in his deck. Neutral is like literally the only way that that doesn't trigger if he's mono agility. I also really like that Siege Catapult. That's actually incredibly enticing.
Confound you!
I mean, I don't need the Crusader's Assault this turn. We're not really hurting for cards.
I'll take them with me!
Goblin Skirmisher is semi-problematic, but I do really like playing that Siege Catapult because that represents a lot of potential damage next turn. Mark-Earth Bannerman also represents basically clearing his board, though. And this technically swings for as much as 6 more if we top deck Divine Fervor. This would be swinging for as much as 9 if we go that route. So it's 6 with upside and more defensive capabilities, or just straight 9. That is a rough call. Like, that is a really rough call. I feel like that this is the safest play, though. So we're going to go ahead and do that. In that spirit, in that vein of things, we also, I think, want to slow him down. Like, there's no reason to not take this at this point. Could have pulled this off. It's one more damage off the board, but if we expect him to play a skirmisher, denying the +2/+2 I think is more important. It also leaves this body on the board. I think the upside of the trade that we took is better, is what I'm trying to articulate, if that wasn't clear. So we know that they drew a neutral card. I have to imagine it's Crushing Blow. I mean, maybe they run Knife to the Throat because they're in mono agility and really want silence, but I have to imagine it's Crushing Blow for reach. They're probably doing that because they're going to play their last goblin over there. It's not exactly a shock.
Of course I'm on your side.
Alright, that's not a fervor, but it's pretty darn good. So now we have to do some math. We have 4, 8, 10, 11, but if we put the clan captain over here, that's 12, 13, 14. And then with this, so we've got like lethal and then some to spare. But let's go ahead and start with this. The only prophecies we're really worried about would be ones that are defensive. Black Sat Protector, for example.
I'll take them with me.
Fighters Guild Recruit, for example. But there is nothing to worry about, because it is time to fight, and we get that victory. So there you have it. That's 2 games. We had a close one and kind of like a mirror. I mean, Token Crusader is probably the closest thing to this deck. they just had a superior opener, put us on the back foot. We still came very close to winning that first game. Did very well in the second game. So I'm a fan of the list. Probably going to put some more games in on it, see how it goes. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.